Alright everyone, what's up? Mecha here. We got two pieces of big Fire Emblem related news today that I just want to go over real quick. Because people will probably ask me what my thoughts are a bunch, so might as well get it out here. So, first of all, Byleth is in Smash now. Apparently you can buy him. I don't personally play Smash, so if I say anything concrete about Smash, I'm going to look like an idiot. So I'll just say it's really cool to get some more Fire Emblem representation. I know the Smash community isn't exactly happy about it, per se. And they have all the right to be happy, not happy, salty. Whatever. Just do your own thing, have fun with Byleth and Smash if you want to. I think more representation of Fire Emblem is always a good thing for Fire Emblem fans, because it means the community gets bigger, more people might get into it. I know a bunch of people got into Smash because of Corrin, Marth, Roy, of course, so Byleth can only be a good thing for us, and we should just focus on healthy aspects, not try to pick fights over the internet, because an old saying is, you know, if two people fight on the internet, there's only losers. Or it's like winning the Special Olympics. Both of you look like, well, you can fill the rest in yourself. Basically, let's just be chill, let's be a chill community, let's not go to war. The reveal trailer for Byleth is awesome. I'm not going to show it in this video, you should watch it yourself, I'll drop links in the description. But if I show it here, I might get like copyright struck or something, and we don't want that, so let's not do that. But it's a really funny and really awesome reveal trailer with a bunch of funny surprises in it that I really enjoyed watching. That's all I'll say about Smash, because we have another thing coming up, and that is of course the fact that they announced the Cindered Shadows DLC contents. Apparently this is the Abyss mode that we've been waiting for, Wave 4. It's going to drop mid-January. No, actually February, excuse me. I misspoke. It's February, definitely. And it'll be available for separate purchase, or you can just have the Season Pass. I don't know yet if I'm going to get it. The trailer for it is pretty interesting. I'm going to show it. I'm going to try not to get copyright struck by like doing kind of mirroring, probably. Leave the sound off, that kind of shit. If you want to watch the original, again, links in the description. Let's just go through it, see what kind of information we can gather. We have had already a lot of information through like data mining and stuff, which I'll go over too. We already know a lot more about these characters than what is shown in this trailer, but now they're finally shown with like their faces and everything. It's pretty cool. So this part is it's actually already in the game. It's a very early cutscene, and it was also in the trailers with like Byleth getting up to the sound of the school bells and just walking out. But this is just a reveal to the Abyss, which apparently is the underground society of three houses, or it's like the shadow side of the monastery is what they call it. It's where the Ashen Wolves reside, and they are a house without a leader, basically. But I think the idea of the DLC is that Byleth gets to be that leader. And from what I can tell, Abyss mode is a group of extra chapters, or like an extra campaign, basically, like a fourth house, if you will. Other characters show up, like you can see both Edelgard and Claude here, as well as Hilda, which shows that it's not just a fourth house, or rather, it's not just, you know, something you do while you're already on a quest in a house. I think it's not. I'm not sure, entirely sure how it's gonna work, but maybe people with more experience with Fire Emblem DLC can tell me, because I have no idea how they're gonna implement this into the game. But let's watch for a little bit. So these are the four characters. I'm not sure which one of them is which yet when it comes to like the stats, because they have been data mined with all their stats, but they're called like DLC 1 through 4. So I don't know exactly which is which, and I don't want to look like an idiot by speculating on it. So for now, let's just watch for a little bit. So they have a banner, apparently. It looks a bit like a... Oh, actually, I'm dumb. It's a wolf. Duh. They're called the Ashen Wolves. I'm dumb. Ignore me. Alright, so here we have Baltus. I think he's the guy that really likes brawling, the physically inclined guy. And he seems to have what looks like relics to me, because they're orange and they glow. So we know that they all have a crest that was previously unused. So we know these are extra relics in the game, I guess. And he's fighting Dimitri, who is apparently blue, so I'm assuming you fight them to recruit them. Or it's some kind of mock battle kind of idea. But we see Dimitri, and later on we see like other characters. Like we already see Edelgard, so this is definitely some kind of campaign where you get to use the other house leaders, which is kind of cool. This is Happy, apparently a mounted magic user. We know that there is several new classes in the DLC that we haven't seen yet. Of course, the most well-known one I think is the Dark Flyer. Pretty excited for that one. It's also a Warmonk, I think, but we'll go over that later. So here's Happy. And this is Yuri, guy with the sword. And then Constance, I think she's also a mounted magic user. I think we see her later. Yeah, there's Byleth again with the grappling. It looks like there's like a pretty fully involved story in here, which is pretty cool. So, like, it's not like the, for example, the first DLC wave had just like a bunch of extra auxiliary battles, but they were just map reuses with extra rewards and no extra story or anything. This is something different entirely. Okay, so this is clearly not a map. It looks a little bit familiar. I'm not entirely sure where it is, but it's clearly outside, so it can't be in the abyss. But I see like one of those enemy golems, for example, out here, which I just definitely associate with either the church or Cornelia, so I don't know where they came from. But I guess they are in like multiple places in 3 houses, so we can't really say anything concrete about this. But we see them warping in here. And that looks like that other underground place, in like the Rhea paralog that I just saw. Might just be the same tile set. I don't recognize the statues themselves, but it might have already been there. But yeah, that's it. 3 Houses Expansion Pass, additional side story, Cindered Shadows, available February 13th. I don't know why I keep saying January, probably because it is January right now, that's probably it. So, that is the DLC that you can buy. I don't know yet if I'm gonna get it myself. I'm a big fan of wait and see if it's good, and then buy it. It is considered, like, a lot of people got their hopes up on this DLC, I feel like, because the previous waves of paid DLC have been very lackluster. They've mostly just been cosmetic changes, outfits, pretty lazy ones too, like the volleyball team, the maid outfits and everything. But this is real new content, which, you know, I'm excited to see, but I'll hold off on purchasing it. I haven't bought any of the old DLC waves. I thought the free DLC waves, the free like downloads were nice, but I don't really think the paid ones are for me, so I don't really want to buy a season pass. But just buying this one is almost as expensive, so we're gonna have to wait and see if it's worth it. But it looks like you can just play it regardless of house or something. I don't know. But either way, RIP to all those people who thought Crimson Flower was going to be expanded through this, because it clearly isn't, which means Crimson Flower will always remain incomplete. There's actually a section on Transforce that details the DLC a little bit, right here. And it's called Wave 4 right here, paid DLC. You can see normally there's like, in Wave 3 for example, there's like a bunch of free DLC and a bunch of paid DLC. But here it's just paid, so it doesn't actually say that we also get a free update, which we did in our previous waves, and on the official site somewhere it did say we would have a free update. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any free updates at all. Because right now it's not looking like it is, which, you know, is kind of unfortunate. But hopefully there will be something for us cheapskates right here. But you can see new playable characters, support conversations, monastery facilities, online features, new classes for them. I assume they relate to the playable characters, but maybe they just don't. I know they need a special item to certify for those new classes. Like not a Master Seal or an Advanced Seal, but a completely new item. So we'll see how you get those. Maybe you'll get one for free, maybe. New enemy monsters is interesting, although most monsters kind of work the same overall. So I'm curious if they're going to pull off any new gimmicks. Heroes Relics, we talked about those. Paralogs is actual new chapters, which is very nice. Quests and battalions and gambits, we'll see what those are when we get them, but it looks like a very elaborate DLC. That's pretty cool. But as I said earlier, we actually already have a bunch of data on these guys. So for example, we already have their base stats. These are their bases as if they are a commoner or a noble at level 1. And you can see right here, they're right with Duritza and Anna on Transforce. They're called DLC 1 through 4. I'm not sure exactly which is which, and I don't really want to speculate on it. But you can see 2 of them clearly physical students, 2 of them clearly magically inclined. I think from the trailer it's pretty easy to tell which is which when it comes to those categories. You can't really tell a whole lot from their bases other than that. If you look at other characters, their base stats aren't really telling like how good they will be. And of course we don't know if Abyss mode can be played on different difficulty levels. I would assume so. So we might get like normal, hard, and demanding, and like how good a base stat is, of course, really depends on how good the enemies are, so we can't really say how good they will be. But, for example, we can tell that DLC 2, I think that might be the grappler guy, because he's got really high strength and really high defense compared to the other stats that they have. He might like bulky enough, for example, to take on a couple more enemies than the others, but we don't really know a whole lot about them. One thing that might tell us quite a bit though is their spell list, which I think is pretty interesting. Because you can see that DLC 4 has Miasma, Swarm, Banshee, Death, and Hades, which is kind of similar to Lysithia's spell list. It has all those dark magic, but it has a little bit of Hubert too. So that will be interesting. Like Swarm Z, I don't think it's on many characters at all. It's a pretty helpful spell overall. We can see DLC 3 has Bolting, which is very cool because we haven't really had a good Bolting user. Manuela gets it, but she has a Bane in Reason Magic, so it takes her a while to get there. And by a while, I mean a long fucking ass time. And Hela also gets it, but she's also not very good at using magic. She's much better at just a physical class, so it's nice to get a good Bolting user at least. All the others look pretty similar. I think this is basically Linhardt's spell list with the Sagittarian instead of something else. This one just kind of looks like a random Reason-based spell list. I think like a lot of characters have something like this. Kind of reminds me of Mercedes mostly. Agnea's Arrow, I think, used to be just Rhea that had it. I don't remember anyone else having it, but I might be mistaken. Maybe Linhardt or something. Maybe, I don't think Mercedes got it, but that is interesting. We also have learned abilities and arts. Not too much special here. We have Battalion Vantage and Model Leader here, which are both not very great. I mean, Battalion Vantage is nice, but mostly if you have Battalion Wrath as well. Otherwise, it's not that great. Rally Strength is really cool though. I like that we get that on more characters. I think we have it on Raphael and Annette most of all. There might be others, but those are the main users of it. But it's nice to have another one. Of course, it depends on how many characters you get to use. I feel like if you get to use a lot of characters in a mission, then Rally Strength is okay, because then you can like more afford to waste a turn of someone rallying someone else's strength. But if you only have like 3 or 4 characters, it's usually much better to just attack at someone rather than using Rally. But there are situations where rallying can be really good. And Rally Strength is definitely one of the better rallies. Same for Rally Magic. Although, offensively, Strength is much better than Magic in 3 houses, I feel like. You can use like Brave Weapons in conjunction with it. Whereas offensive Magic generally isn't very powerful, and if it is, then it's Lysithia. She doesn't need help anyway, right? She's already broken enough. And then we have Rally Dexterity, which isn't very good. But we have Battalion Wrath, which is kind of an exclusive skill that could be good, but it's mostly good when combined with Battalion Vantage. Otherwise, it's not that great. Rally Resistance is also not very, very good. They have some. They actually have some starting classes and beginner classes and advanced classes as well, or intermediate classes, I should say. So we kind of know what kind of path they took. As we can see here, 2 of them are magically inclined. They go from monk to mage, and then one of them goes Myrmidon Thief, and then the other goes fighter mercenary. So I'm assuming that this is the guy that likes brawling then, because fighter is definitely more brawling. I'm kind of surprised not to see brawler here, but hey, maybe I'm missing something here. But now we kind of know that they will probably join in their intermediate class, I would assume. Because, like, you look at like Setheth, for example, when you got him in 3 houses, it would show up as a Wyvern Rider, but you can see that he reclassed from Cavalier, for example, in his intermediate class. So you kind of know what path he took. And I'm assuming something similar is going on here. So that's kind of all we know about these characters. There might be more to it, but I don't want to make the video too long. It feels a little bit rushed already. I guess one more thing we should do is take a quick look at their growth rates. Because, I mean, growths don't matter technically, hey, right? But you might as well take a look. Most that we can tell here is DLC 1 is very, very fast out of all these. 60% speed growth is pretty damn high. Manuela has it in like the normal game. Leonie has that. Hilda and Claude don't even reach it. And like Ingrid reaches that, I guess, and Petra reaches that, so that she's that fast, basically, growth-wise, or he is that fast growth-wise. That's pretty damn fast. Only one of them is really standout strength in 50%, the others are kind of lowish. A lot of people actually dislike units like Ingrid's because of their shaky strength at 35, so kind of surprised to see 3 DLC characters have the low strength. But of course, 2 of them are like magically based. Like this one has 60% magic growth, and that is, again, for comparison, it's the same as Lysithia. So that's going to be pretty damn high. So then we have one of them with like very high charm. That also stands out to me. But again, these stats don't really mean a whole lot until we have seen the full picture, and I expect we won't see the full picture until February when this update gets patched into our games and we can actually purchase it. We have one more thing we can take a look at, and that is this post by DeathChaos. It was actually posted 2 months ago, I think more than that probably. DeathChaos is the one who datamined these classes, and there's actually some information on the DLC classes here that we can take a look at, which is actually pretty important. So we have the Trickster class here. We already have Anna, so I don't think there's any point in taking a look at it, because I think we already have this one. But just in case we don't, I didn't buy the DLC, as you can tell. But this one's like very heavily focused on swords and faith, apparently. And it seems to have luck touch and stealth. I'm pretty sure this is Anna's class. Apparently it masters desperation, which is pretty worthless because you can get that through the Cavalier line, so we don't really care about that. Here we have War Monk, which is very much focused on brawling, axes, and faith. Pretty cool class combination. I haven't really seen this before. In Three Houses, that is. I mean, we've seen it in like Awakening, but not really here. So that's pretty neat. Apparently you need like B+ brawling to certify for it and C+ faith. So no current characters are really good at getting qualified for this. I feel like most people who are good at brawling are bad at faith and vice versa. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone else can really be good at this. Apparently if you master it, you get terrain resistance, which is Garbo. But you do have Fist Fair if you reclass into it, so that will help your offenses a little bit. But generally, I feel like brawling, we were all very hyped for it when the game first came out, but nowadays it's really not that good anymore. You want something that's good on enemy phase as well. Then we have Dark Flyer, which is the one I think most people are very hyped for, specifically for Lysithea. To qualify for it, you do need Reason Magic and Flying, so we definitely know it's going to be focused on that. And apparently, as you're a Dark Flyer, you get more weapon XP in Swords, Lances, Reason, and Flying. And again, I'm not using these to show that these units should be using these, but I think it just shows what the class is supposed to be focused on. And it looks to be primarily focused on Reason, Magic, and Flying, with a little bit of Lances and Swords, which I think is basically a magical version of the Dark Flyer, like one that mostly uses magic. So I think that could be very interesting for Lysithea in particular. I don't know how good it'll be on the other characters. Maybe Marianne could make good use of it, because she's also flying and very magically inclined. Well, she's not flying specifically, but she's good with animals, so I think she has a flying boon. That'll be pretty nice. Mastery skill is Defiant Magic, which is obviously not very good unless you're doing some kind of Vantage gimmick, like Vantage, Wrath, Defiant Magic, but it's pretty hard to do. Apparently, if you master the class, you get Triangle Attack, which is kind of funny. But I think Pegasus Knight gets that as well, so really not that special. I like that the class has Black Tome Fair to boost the damage from the Reason Magic even more. That's really nice. And it looks like enemies at least will have Thunder and Thoron as they have this. That is interesting to know. I don't think the class will give you Thunder and Thoron automatically from what I can read here, but not sure. And apparently it has a new skill as well that we don't really know about. So that's good to know. I should also mention that the War Monk spell, the War Monk class is the heal spell. And then we have the Valkyrie class. Okay, so this is the mounted class that we saw using magic earlier. I feel like 2 of them had this, but maybe I didn't see it properly, but I'm pretty sure I saw multiple characters using magic while on swords. This is also nice to see, because all the, like, there was like Dark Knight in Three Houses already, but that was more like Reason Magic, and I've had like Holy Knight, but those were like master classes. This is an advanced class, and a Cavalry advanced class is nice to have, an additional one. And again, it's focused on swords, reason, and faith magic, and writing, of course. But we kind of know what kind of classes they want it to be. It does have a 5% speed penalty, but that's not as big as the Cavalier class, so that at least is a nice boon. I feel like they nerfed mounted units a little bit too hard in Three Houses in some aspects, so that's cool. And as class skills, I just noticed this. It has Black Magic range +1 and Dark Magic range +1. That's really fucking good. And then as magic skill, you get Fiendish Blow. I mean, you're probably going through Mage anyway if you want to like be a magic unit at all. You might as well get it ASAP. Waiting until you're advanced class to get Fiendish Blow is kind of bad. You'd rather just go Mage. But hey, this class is looking kind of nice. The range +1 is really damn good. Really damn good. So these new classes, I think, are the most interesting thing of the new DLC, besides, you know, the whole story and character thing. Those I'm also excited for, don't get me wrong, but I'm really intrigued by this overall. So yeah, I've been wanting to make a video on the DLC for a while, and, you know, now seemed like the perfect time. I'm sorry if it seemed a little rushed, but I just want to get my thoughts out there, because I know people were going to ask me. So let me know what you think. Do you plan on buying the DLC? Because I'm going to wait a little bit. I've always been a big advocate of wait and see. But who knows, this might just give another boost to the game. So, too long didn't read, Byleth gun and Smash, let's stay chill. And DLC dropping mid-February. Let's have some fun with that too. See you guys around. Peace. Goodbye.